Hello and welcome to this jewelry making tutorial. In this tutorial I will show you how to make a bracelet using different Murano Millefiori beads. We shall make a boho bracelet, and for this bracelet we need the beads. First of all, we need thread, we need some findings, and of course we also need different tools. The tools that we have here, also the beading needle. Let's start by talking about the findings. As you can see here, I have some clamshell bead ends, and I will use these in order to mark the end of my bracelet. Inside these clamshell bead ends I will put some sand beads, these tiny sand beads. Also I will need some jump rings, also for the end of my bracelet and to close the bracelet, and of course a lobster claw clasp. Now these are the findings that we shall need. Because we need some thread, we also need to use a needle. I will use the big eye beading needle. Let's take the needle out of its package. So this is the big eye beading needle that we shall use in order to create our bracelet, and also some tools. So these are the tools that we are going to use today. For the thread, I'm going to use a pair of scissors. For the small parts, small items, I can use this pair of pincers. And for the jump rings and for the metal parts, for the clamshell bead ends, I will use the pliers, the chain nose pliers. As you can see, they have no teeth here, so they are flat here, so that they do not scratch our findings, because if they had teeth, they would have scratched the surface of our findings. And also the jump ring opener and closer. And now let's put some of the tools away and let's begin making the bracelet. First of all, I will take the sand bead, one of the two sand beads, the thread and the needle. I will take, as you can see, I put the needle, the thread in two like this, so I have two threads superposed. And as you can see, if I want to make a bracelet, I want to put a bit more thread, so the thread should be a bit longer than the circumference of my wrist, so that we can work with the needle and have enough thread to be able to make all the knots necessary for this bracelet. So I will separate the two threads. I will take the needle, I will put the thread on one of the threads on my needle like this, and I will take the sand bead, my tiny sand bead, and I will put the sand bead on the needle like this. And now I will move the sand bead on my thread like this. So as you can see, my sand bead is on one of the threads here, and I will move it to the end of the bracelet here, And now I will take both of my threads, these two threads, I put the threads through the needle like this, and I will take the clamshell bead end and I will put the clamshell bead end on my needle like this, and I will move the clamshell bead end to the end of my thread. And now, as you can see, my sand bead is inside of the clamshell bead end. Now I will take the pliers and close my clamshell bead end like this, and I will take one of the jump rings and I will open it. I will grab it with the pliers this way. I will take the jump ring opener and I have opened the jump ring like this. Now I will take the lobster claw clasp and put the lobster claw clasp on my jump ring this way, like this. I have the jump ring and the lobster claw clasp. Now I will take the clamshell bead end and I'll put the jump ring through my clamshell bead end like this, and in order to attach the lobster claw clasp to the clamshell bead end, I will use this jump ring like this. I have closed the jump ring, and as you can see, I have the clamshell bead end, the jump ring, and here at the end is the lobster claw clasp. And now the end of my bracelet has been created. The next step will be to add the beads. I will begin with a green bead, then I will put a blue bead, a green bead, a blue bead like this, another green bead, a blue bead, and now I'll put a yellow bead, a green bead, and another yellow bead, and now we have reached the half of the bracelet. So now let's see what the bracelet, half of the bracelet looks like. So we have an alternation between green and blue beads until we reach the middle of the bracelet, where I have also added yellow beads. Let's put those beads on the thread this way, and let's continue by adding some more, bringing some more beads to create the rest of my bracelet. Now I will take a blue bead to mark the center of my bracelet. So the blue bead will be the exact central point of my bracelet. And now, in order to create symmetry, I will add the same colors but in the opposite order. This way we shall create a perfectly symmetrical boho bracelet that will give a beautiful aesthetic aspect. So let's follow the same pattern. Yellow, green and yellow, like this. So we have created a symmetry in the central part, and now I have to alternate the blue and the green beads using the same pattern. So here I have a blue bead, so I will put a blue bead, a green bead, and so on. I will alternate blue with green. Another blue bead, and the last bead will be green. Now let's put all these beads on the thread like this, and our bracelet is now finished from the point of view of the beads. All we have to do is close this bracelet. I will take the clamshell bead tip and put the clamshell bead tip on my needle through the two threads, and then I will remove one of my two threads from the needle, so I have only one thread. I will take the sand bead, put it on the needle like this, and now I can remove the needle. Let's put it away, and I have my sand bead on only one of the threads. And now I can create I will bring the blue bead inside of my clamshell bead end, and now with these two threads I will make a knot right above my sand bead inside of the clamshell bead end, like this. Let's make another knot to make sure that our knot does not open, like this. So as you can see, I didn't compress the beads too much so that the bracelet does not look too rigid, but I didn't leave too much space in between my beads, because if I left too much distance between the beads, then we would see the thread. So we have to take into consideration that the bracelet must be a bit loose like this, not too rigid. The beads must not be too compressed, but the beads must also not be too loose, too far away from each other, because this way we would see the thread, and that would be inaesthetic. So now I created a knot above the blue bead like this, and I will take the scissors and cut my thread. I will try to cut as close as possible to the bead so that less thread will be visible, this way. And now I have the bead and the knot concealed inside my clamshell bead end. I will take the pliers and I will close the clamshell bead end like this, and I will take the jump ring and again open the jump ring, with the jump ring opener and the pliers. So let's grab it with the pliers like this, and I'll open the jump ring this way. Now it's open. I hope you can see. I will put the jump ring through my clamshell bead end like this, and I can close my jump ring now. So I'll grab it with the pliers and close it. This way, like this, and I have finished the bracelet. Now let's close the bracelet and see what it looks like. So this is our finished bracelet, boho bracelet, with glass beads, Millefiori, Murano glass beads. And as you can see, the bracelet is very colorful. It is typical for the boho bracelet. It's made with Venetian glass, so colorful glass, and you can wear it in summer and combine it with some clothing items that are just as shiny and colorful. So I hope you liked this video, and thank you for watching.